anticipate things that could get broken. Have extra parts. Have spare parts. Be ready to change your design. We scout every match. Okay, here's scouting early regionals. Remember I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here? First week, one regional somewhere is going to be webcast. And you'll be able to watch the matches as they're played. They may not be archived, so you may have to actually watch them real time. You need to get together, have a party, do it. Set up a projector, talk about it. You may even want to scout. I'll talk about scouting a little bit. You have that advantage before Portland. If you can at all get some of your team members to come to Portland, even though you're not competing, bring a group down to see how things are played. What you're going to find is the game changes week to week until you finally get to the point towards the end, which here's our regional, where now it's pretty much being played the same everywhere. Everybody knows how to play. Because the first week, it'd be like going, having you build a baseball stadium, you put a whole bunch of people in it, you bring the players out, and they play the first game of baseball ever. No one's ever played before. They don't really know how to play. That's exactly what we do every single year. So take advantage of these webcasts. And you can find them on Chief Delphi or on the NASA website. Somewhere there's going to be one webcast. And it's very valuable to do that. And doing it as a group is a lot of fun anyway. And maybe you can get out of school on a Friday. Sometimes you have to, if you're playing 2 regionals, sometimes you have to say, well, our arm isn't working. Let's take the arm off and play as a drive-around robot. Sometimes you have to do that. Example from us last year. In Portland, our lifter mechanism wasn't working properly. We got chosen to be in a semifinal or a quarterfinal. Couldn't make it work. We withdrew, even though we could have probably driven around and been a defender. We couldn't do what we wanted to do, so we withdrew so another team could come in and take our place and they could compete at their best level. We knew we were not going to be at our best level. So we just had to do that. Our team, a lot of them didn't like the fact I did that. But it was the only reasonable thing to do. Then we went, fixed that between then, or came back and fixed it at Seattle and then won the Seattle region. So, things like that happen.
Just a quick question.
I used to work with a team, Team 71 out of Hammond, Indiana, that sometimes their first regional, they would have a robot, they would strip it completely down and completely rebuild it on Thursday. And they may not even play until Friday afternoon. They come in, they wouldn't do very well. Second regional, they would win. They are the only team that has won the national championship 4 times.
Wow.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
So you said that you made the decision to leave the semifinals alliance, or the quarterfinal alliance. So just a quick question about how your leadership. How was that decided on your team?
Well, primarily I consult with my student team leader, who's usually on the field with me, or if they aren't, I consult with them, and we make the decision.
Okay.
So, and generally, pretty much I suggest it, and they do. I mean, I'll be honest. Yeah.
So were you then able to come back and use your second robot at home to be thinking about how to fix that problem for Seattle?
We took the robot back in the pit, looked at what we needed to do, talked to that design team, and we saw immediately what the issue was. We went back, and in between the regionals, you're given, at least last year, we were given a window of time that you can work for 10 hours in between each regional. And everybody, no matter whether you played or not, has that 10-week build-it time or whatever.
10 hours?
Or 10 hours of time. So we went back and rebuilt some pieces, fabricated them at home in our window of time was allowed, and then brought that to Seattle, and then took off all the pieces that were malfunctioning, reinstalled the new pieces that were much more stronger, and then competed.
So during the time between the ship date and your regionals, you are allowed to drive but not build. And
if you have a second robot, that's totally different, because that isn't even part of the game. So you can drive, you can do whatever you want. Now you're not supposed to program that robot, although everybody does. But you're supposed to redo that program before you get to the regional. But let me keep going here, and then I'm getting off track. At the competition, this is what I need to maybe probably all about. You're going to hear things, because what's going to happen is you're going to get there and go, you know, I've never been on the field with 5 other robots that are 120 pounds. They're getting in my way. And before, I was just driving around my carpet and it was really easy, and like, what's the problem? You can't play defense like that against it. You know, that's not fair. You're going to find other robots that are just going to get in your way intentionally. And they can bump you intentionally. And they can pin you to the wall for a certain number of seconds. And then they have to come on. And you got to figure out, well, how am I going to deal with that? It's fair. It's in the rules. Read the rules and you know that. But it worked in practice. You know, it worked in practice probably because there weren't 5 other robots knocking into you. And if you have a very delicate mechanism, or if you have a mechanism that it just takes more time, or maybe you weren't considering the 2 minutes. You know, yeah, you can lift the ball up and take it over, and you can do that 5 times, but you weren't watching the clock. It took you 10 minutes to do that. And in a game, you have 2 minutes. So a lot of things are different. This is something we'll hear, not like, this is an exaggeration, but we'll hear as a team, some team will come in and go and tell us, we'll ask them what they can do, and they'll say, oh yeah, we can do 10 laps and knock down both balls during all of that during hybrid, and then we can hurdle 12 times during teleo. We promise we can do that. That's what we can do. Now what can you do? And it sounds ludicrous, but I've heard versions of this. You're going to find that teams have a exaggerated opinion of their own abilities. We all do that. We love our robot. We love our teams. We've worked with them for 6 weeks. We think they're the best robot in the world. You'll all feel that way, and that's good. You should feel that way. But be realistic. I mean, the hardest thing for me to do is to go back and watch matches we played that we won and look at the play and go, what, we sucked. We won, but I don't know how. And you'll find yourself doing that. We were nowhere near as good as I thought we were when I'm standing there watching the match from the field. So, pretty interesting. So now when you're on things to do, you're going to need to do these kinds of things. I'm going to go through them. Well, I got 12. You need to get to know your alliance, get to know the opposing alliance. Now we're at the competition on Friday or maybe Thursday. You have to then now work with these other teams. You're going to have 2 teams that are allied with you, and they're going to be drawn randomly. You probably, given the fact we have 60 teams, are going to play 8 matches. Think about that. You might have maybe 3 practice matches the day before, but they don't really count. You'll have 8 matches. You just spent how much money? And how much time? And how much effort? And how much of your life have you given up? And what have you sacrificed to play for 16 minutes? Yep. You better make those 16 minutes count. You got to do everything you can do in your power to not waste any of those time. Which means you're going to have to make sure that you don't lose a whole match because somebody forgot to put the battery in. Anyway. People that have done it before know what I'm talking about. It happens. You'll see people running back to the pit and coming out with a battery because they forgot to put it in. Or, even worse, you put your robot out on the field. It used to be worse. And you'll come back and they'll start and go 3, 2, 1, go, and your robot's not doing anything. And you go, why isn't it doing it? Well, you didn't turn it on. Now, luckily, they should catch that. But if they don't, not their problem. They're not going to let you go on the field and turn it on. So, you got to be ready and be ready for the match. These are all things you can do that really will help you, and I'm going to talk to you about each of these things real briefly. So you need to know your alliance. So you're going to visit the pit of your partner. So let's say you have team, we're playing with 13-18, and we're playing with Team 360. We'll go over, and my drive crew will go over and talk to them and say, hey, we're going to be playing in match number 23. We're playing with you guys. How you doing? How's your robot? Get to know their drive team. Get to know what they kind of like to do, what they want to do. Find out what they can't do.